The Navy taught this man to cook, to serve meals, to shine the officers' shoes. It never taught him to fire a weapon. Men like him weren't allowed near the guns, and yet, on the deadliest morning the American fleet had ever seen, he stood behind one of those guns and fired back. This is the story of the cook the Navy tried not to name. His name was Doris Miller, born in 1919 on a farm outside Waco, Texas, the third of 4 sons in a family of sharecroppers. Work was hard, and money was thin. In 1939, at 19, he did what many young men with few options did. He joined the Navy. But the Navy he joined had a ceiling built into it. Black sailors were confined to a single branch, the mess. Their world was the kitchen, the laundry, and the officers' quarters. They cooked, they cleaned, they served. They were not trained to fight. Miller made the most of the space he was given. He was big, strong, and quiet. Aboard his battleship, the USS West Virginia, he became the heavyweight boxing champion of the crew. He collected the laundry, he served the meals, and he waited, like everyone else, for a war drawing closer every month. He was assigned to the West Virginia in 1940. He had no idea that within a year, his ship would become one of the most famous wrecks in American history. Sunday, December 7th, 1941. Just before 8 a.m., Pearl Harbor, Doris Miller was below decks, collecting laundry, when the alarm tore through the ship. The West Virginia was moored along Battleship Row. Within minutes, Japanese torpedoes slammed into her side, as many as 7. The great ship began to list, taking on water fast. Miller ran to his battle station, an ammunition magazine amidships. It was already gone, wrecked by a torpedo hit. So he did what he was not ordered to do. He went up, toward the fighting, instead of away from it. On the bridge he found smoke, chaos, and his captain, Mervyn Benyon, struck down, mortally wounded. Miller, with others, lifted the dying captain and carried him to shelter behind the conning tower. His captain did not survive the day. For his conduct on that bridge, Captain Mervyn Benyon was awarded the Medal of Honor, one of 15 given for Pearl Harbor. He did not live to see it. The cook who helped carry him was about to do something no one expected. And then Doris Miller saw the guns. 2 50 caliber anti-aircraft machine guns stood unmanned near the bridge. Their crews were dead or wounded. Miller had never been trained to fire one. The Navy had made sure of that. But an officer pointed him to the weapon, showed him how to load and aim, and left him to it. So the cook took the gun. He aimed into a sky full of enemy aircraft, and he fired. He kept firing, round after round, until the ammunition ran out. How many planes did he hit? Here, we have to be honest. The accounts don't agree. Navy records credited him, at different times, with 1, and later with 2. Eyewitnesses on deck claimed as many as 4 to 6. Miller himself never boasted. When they asked him, he said only, "I think I got one of those planes," but the number was never the point. A man the Navy had decided could only carry plates had picked up a weapon in the middle of the worst attack in its history and refused to be a bystander. When the order came to abandon ship, the West Virginia was settling into the harbor mud. Miller stayed in the water, pulling wounded sailors out of the oil and toward safety, until there was nothing left to do but leave. In the days that followed, newspapers carried the story of an unnamed black sailor who had manned a gun at Pearl Harbor. Unnamed. The Navy released the account, but not the man. It was the black press, led by the Pittsburgh Courier, that fought to put a name to the hero. Months passed before the Navy confirmed it. The sailor was Mess Attendant Doris Miller. On May 27, 1942, on the deck of the carrier USS Enterprise, Admiral Chester Nimitz, commander of the entire Pacific Fleet, pinned the Navy Cross to Miller's chest. He was the first African American ever to receive it. If these forgotten stories matter to you, subscribe. Every week, we bring one back. For a moment, the cook from Waco was the most celebrated black man in America. For a while, he was not even Doris to the public. The Pittsburgh Courier printed the hero's story under the name Dorie, a nickname that, by some accounts, began as a simple typing error. It stuck, and to millions of black Americans, Dorie Miller became the face of a hard question. If this man could fight for his country, why was he only allowed to serve its meals? The Courier made him a symbol of its WWII campaign, victory over fascism abroad, and victory over discrimination at home. The Navy sent him on a war bond tour. His face went on a recruiting poster, above and beyond the call of duty. He had become a symbol, but symbols still have to go back to war. Miller returned to sea, now a ship's cook, third class, assigned to a small escort carrier, the USS Liscum Bay. On the morning of November 24, 1943, off Macon Island in the Pacific, a single torpedo from the Japanese submarine I-175 found her. It struck near the aircraft bombs stored in her hull. The magazine detonated. The Liscum Bay was gone in 23 minutes. Of a crew of more than 900, only about 270 survived. Doris Miller was not among them. He was 24 years old. His body was never recovered. The man who taught himself to fight at Pearl Harbor has no grave but the ocean. For decades, his story faded. A footnote, a name in a citation. But history circled back. In 2020, the United States Navy announced its newest supercarrier, a warship far larger than the West Virginia he once served aboard. They named it the USS Doris Miller, the first aircraft carrier ever named for an African American, the first ever named for an enlisted sailor honored for actions in combat. The Navy that once would not print his name has now carved it across the bow of one of the most powerful ships on Earth. Doris Miller was told he could only serve meals. Instead, he served his country and gave his life. He was not supposed to be a hero. He became one anyway. The honors came slowly, and they came late. In 2010, his face appeared on an American postage stamp, honoring 4 distinguished sailors. In 2014, his hometown of Waco named its Veterans Medical Center after him. Schools, parks, and streets across America now carry the name the Navy once refused to print. Who should history bring back next? Tell us in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss him, the hero's history left behind. We'll see you next week.